Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing a 2024 Jeep Wagoneer with their new off-road package. Before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Carl Malone Dodge Ram Jeep Chrysler here in Heber, Utah for giving me some time with this Wagoneer. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a twin-turbo 3-liter inline-6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy 16 around town and then 23 on the highway, with power outputs being 420 horsepower and then 468 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see how it has those little raised sections there on either side, and then a Wagoneer there at the bottom. Got the Wagoneer's headlights, which I like how it says Jeep Performance LED. And then you guys can see with the brushed finish on the grille trim, and it's also blacked out. Same thing with the trim at the bottom. We do have recovery points on this. And then this off-road package does add some skid plate protection underneath as well. Now this is in the higher ride height setting, but regardless, it looks cool in this kind of lifted mode. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 275, 65, 18 in the front and over in the rear. And you guys can see with the wheels kind of have that off-road style, and then all-terrain tires with this off-road package. And then you guys can see here with the fender flare how that's painted black. Same thing with some of the trim on the side. Also, you have the fixed side steps here, Wagoneer there on the side, and then you got that nice trim that goes around the windows. And then here's your full side view with the Wagoneer. And yeah, those all-terrain tires, it really transforms the vehicle. And I feel like that's any vehicle. You take a truck or an SUV and you give it all-terrain tires and it just looks infinitely cooler. Now taking a look at the key fob, we have our lock and unlock function, remote start, we got the suspension lowering function, we got that to open up the hatch, and then Wagoneer. And then popping inside, you guys can see we've got this nice carpeting here in the back, and then we got some storage underneath. 12 volt here in the back, and then we've got this for the seats. So the third row you can raise and lower, the second row you can only lower the seats down. And then this is built off of a regular Wagoneer, not the L version, so you don't have as much space as the L. The L is kind of more like a Suburban, this is more like a Tahoe. Press that button and that will lower the hatch right back down. Pretty cool taillight design, again with the trim there too, and then notice Wagoneer at the top. And then parking sensors down below, and then you can see we've got the bezel that covers the receiver hitch, and this is a Series 2 by the way. And putting it all together, let me know your thoughts on the looks here with this off-road Wagoneer. Now popping inside, you got soft touch here at the top, then you guys can see the trim down below, and then look at the stitching here. Little window control, notice it's automatic, and the speaker for the Alpine sound system. Really nice seats here, perforated all down the center portion. You got your adjustments on the side. Now legroom in the second row is great. We also have a little storage pocket here. We've got some vents here for the back. Also have our own climate zone, heated seats, a bunch of charging ports down below. You can see the cup holders. And then the rear seats are actually just as nice as the second row here. You can very comfortably fit adults in the back. Apparently I can't talk today. And then you guys can see for the seat recline function there, you also got the USB. And then the rear passengers actually get their own sunroof in the back too. That's fancy. Soft touch here at the top, then you guys can see with the rest of the trim, and look at the stitching, goes throughout. Automatic for all the windows, you get your mirror adjustments, memory seats, blind spot monitoring with the mirrors, and then payload on this is 1,337 pounds. And then here's a quick look at the front seat, again perforated all down the center portion. I do like this padding and trim, I think it feels very premium. Power adjustments on the side, and then you guys can see all of our light controls right here. Steering wheel's power adjustable, and look at the trim, and the dash is soft touch, also has some nice stitching. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, soft touch all around. You can see Wagoneer there in the center. And then we've got our gear limiter here. We also have our adaptive cruise control, regular cruise control, controls for the center stack. And then you can see the regular stalks there on the back. And then here's the gauge cluster. We can scroll through some different menus, see different bits of info. I like the analog versus digital view. I think that's a pretty cool setup right there. And then the drive modes will pop up here in the center. And we do have a mud, sand, and then a rock mode as well, because again, this is the off-road Wagoneer. Traditional backup camera, what's your directions that turn with the steering wheel, pretty good resolution. And then as for the infotainment system, first off, you got some like shortcut buttons there on the side for the seats, and then also climate controls down below. You can see in analog format, and then radio controls on top of that. But as for the screen itself, response time is pretty dang quick. It does take a second for some of the pages to load up. Wow, that is really long for the climate. That was crazy long for the climate control to load up. But aside from the slow loading with some of the screens, pretty easy. It looks like this one also has the passenger screen there on the side. More of that kind of nice trim here. And then if we click this up, this will be our charging area inside with the wireless phone charging pad. And then you can see for the auto stop start, your lane departure, stability control, hazard lights, parking sensors, tow haul, and then that's for the passenger screen. Dial shifter here for the 8-speed automatic, drive mode select, and then you can see for the suspension to raise and lower it. Your 4-wheel drive low, neutral, and that's true neutral by the way. And then you've got off-road cruise control. Cup holder stuff here. Nice trim on this side. And then with the center console, got good storage. I like this trim on top. And then opening it up, wow, that is enormous. And then in the glove box, yeah, pretty normal. And then we do have a sunroof up front, so lots of sunroof action. So here's our window sticker for this Wagoneer. Now, standard equipment, don't really care. There we go. Advanced all-terrain group, $2,500. I think this is worth it. So you guys can see 2-speed transfer case, 392 axle ratio, 18-inch wheels, all-terrain tires. You've got semi-active dampening, electronic limited slip differential, air suspension, skid plates, tow hooks, like lots of value. I think it's worth getting. Anyways, total MSRP, $83,990. Let's see how it drives. So let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood. Both the mirrors, do a blind spot monitoring for the rest of the rear. Good with the big windows. And, well, it's lowering the suspension now, I think to normal mode. But let us set off. I'm really excited about this package. I do have some, what did I just press? I accidentally pressed the off-road cruise control. I do have some, that's weird. I do have some beef with this package, and I'll kind of talk about my beef at the end of the video. But let us drive it first. So first off, I will say seats are really comfortable, and this definitely feels like a luxury car. I think that, and this is just my opinion, I think that Jeep should have just kept it with the Wagoneer. I think the Grand Wagoneer was a bit superfluous because although it has a nicer interior, this and that, just, yeah, I understand that, you know, Ford does stuff with the Navigator, right? And Cadillac does stuff with the Escalade in the form of basically just reskinning a vehicle and selling it for more money. And I understand Jeep is trying to get into that market, but I just don't think that that really is necessary for this vehicle. I think this is enough. But super smooth. That air suspension definitely helps out, and the all-terrain tires, right? Bigger sidewall acts as another shock absorber, so that also adds to the, I guess you could say, pizzazz of this vehicle. We'll use fancier words, or sillier words, I guess, in the reviews now. This Hurricane's nice too. We're at over 5,000 feet elevation here, and it's just nice the torque that this provides. It's all very, very smooth. We'll see how the Hurricane gets up and moves. Ooh, quick to shift, and it's got a punch. It's got a strong punch. It's just boom, right to it. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, it really is a luxury car. It does drive very luxury-like. That's another thing that goes against Grand Wagoneer, is the regular Wagoneer drives so much like the Grand Wagoneer that it's like, what's the point? You pay a lot of money for a slightly nicer interior and then basically thicker glass, so you have a little bit more sound deadening than this. Anyways, summing things up with this Wagoneer off-road package, I think this thing is pretty cool. I like it. I think this is how the Wagoneer should have basically been from the start. Like, that's it. I think this is what the Wagoneer should have been from the start. My hot take, though, I don't think it looks cool enough. You know, the Chevy Tahoe Z71, even the Suburban Z71, they have, like, you can tell, like, it's got, you know, how they make it kind of like that Raptor style skid plate. And then yeah, the Expedition Timberline, so they look like this looks more aggressive just because of the tires, but the actual exterior styling hasn't changed. It's a good looking vehicle, but I think if they really want to sell this as an off-roader, you got to understand that a lot of, like, someone that's buying this is probably not actually going to take it off-road. They just want it for the looks, and then also the fact that, you know, this is going to do better in snow and other inclement weather conditions. So when you just kind of look at it, I guess, from that perspective, then what you see is, okay, well, what probably should, I guess, happen with this is they should, I don't know, they should have done a little bit more with the styling. It's not, I guess what I'm trying to say is it's not enough that this is a Jeep. Like, Jeep styling is cool, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't scream off-road. Like, the Wagoneer doesn't scream off-roader. You know, Wrangler screams off-roader, but a Wagoneer, with how it's styled, doesn't really scream off-roader, in my opinion. Let me know your thoughts on this Wagoneer with this off-road package, but, you know, despite my, I guess, gripes, you could say, I think overall it's pretty cool.